Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I am testing out a new foundation that has just hit the drugstore. I haven't really seen a lot about the foundation. I've seen more about the concealer, but I have not found the concealer yet in Canada, just the foundation. So I'm going to be reviewing the L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Fresh Wear Foundation. I decided to pick up the shade 430. This comes in a large variety of shades, very, very deep to very, very fair. And there was no tester, so I kind of just tried to figure it out. This is shade 430. It's very runny, as you can see. It's running down my hand. I decided to go with a little bit more of a tanned shade. I think that should be okay. I'm kind of self-tanned, but it's kind of wearing off, so not too sure. It could be a little bit too dark, but this is the shade we're going to test out. Basically, it's supposed to be breathable, buildable coverage for 24 hours for a fresh complexion, and that's about it. The natural finish, 24-hour wear, medium coverage, and its air light feel. So I'm going to prep my skin as always. We're going to go in with the Shiseido Glow Enhancing Primer. I'm going to put that all over the face. I'm going to use my little Quo beauty sponge on the side of the face. Just going to start to work that foundation in. There's really no smell, which I like. I don't need fragrance in my foundation. I don't understand why companies do that. It's actually really nice. Check out the difference. That is a difference. I'm gonna take a little bit down my neck just so we look seamless. I probably could have gone with one shade lighter, but then I feel like when I'm tanned, I feel like this is gonna be too light, so it's a pretty decent shade. It definitely has, it's a neutral undertone. Not too yellow, not too pink. The coverage would definitely be medium. Okay, so here is one half of the face done. So as you can see, I still have a natural skin-like texture. It's not a matte finish, it does have a nice glow to it. The feeling is nice. It's not dewy and tacky. It's not a matte feeling, but it is kind of like I guess like a demi-matte. You still see your skin through. Obviously it's not a full coverage foundation. So here is one side without, here is one side with. Okay, so I'm just gonna apply some on the other side of my face. I wish I had the concealer to review, but I don't have it. I can't find it yet. I know in the States it's already out. Canada, having a rough time finding that concealer. It's supposed to be awesome. I'm really, really liking the finish. It looks so beautiful and natural and skin-like. It does a pretty decent job at covering. Like, that is it. It is raised, so obviously it's still going to look raised, but it did a good job of covering the redness. It's not fully covered, but it's not too bad. I'm just going to add a little bit more in certain areas where I just want to kind of build it to see how it works, but it is building. It looks great. It's definitely not a full coverage, so if you're looking for full coverage, this is not it. But it definitely would be a medium coverage, natural finish, looks like skin. I'm really digging it. I'm just gonna finish up everything. I'm gonna use my Pixi Peach Corrector. We are just going to use a tiny amount of that. I use it right in the very corner of my eye. I'm next gonna take some Tarte Shade Tape in the shade Light Sand. So I'm just going to dot that. And then because that's a little bit too light, I'm taking a little bit of the Chanel. This is the Le Corrector de Chanel Concealer in 30 Beige. I'm taking the Hourglass Translucent Setting Powder Veil. So I like to press that powder in. I have to set my face because it's dewy and I'm oily, so if I do not set it, it's not gonna last all day on me. So I'm gonna take the Peach Perfect Mattifying Loose Setting Powder from Too Faced. I'm taking that and I'm just going to press it into the skin. If you are more dry and you like more of that radiant finish, you will love this foundation with no setting powder. It looks gorgeous, but I have to do something about that just because for me, I know it won't last. Taking the Urban Decay Naked Flush Palette, I'm gonna take some of the bronzer first. I'm actually gonna dip into the blush color on the edge of this palette. I'm gonna use the whole palette for the face, so we're gonna go in. I'm using the same kind of contour brush I just used for the bronzer. And then taking the highlighter shade, which is pretty light, but I'm going to use it, see what happens. It's pretty. Just going to set my whole face with the Milani Make It Last setting spray. The time is now 1:39, so I'm going to finish the rest of my makeup. I'm doing another video actually testing on an eyeshadow palette. So I'm going to finish everything up, and then basically I'll check back in throughout the day and let you know how it's wearing. Yeah, but so far I'm really liking it. It looks very natural. The coverage is medium. It's not really settling majorly into any fine lines or pores. I'm really liking it. I think it looks really fresh and healthy. If you do not have oily skin like myself, I think that you would really like it without setting powder, but I just have to set it or it will be a disaster. I do have zit. It is pretty much covered, but you can still see it poking through its rays, so there's no chance to fixing that one. Just game over. So I'll check back in later. Okay, so I am checking in. It is currently, let's see, it's 2:34. So I've only been wearing the foundation for about an hour, and I'm gonna tell you, I really am enjoying it. I did a review on this eyeshadow, you know, a little bit extreme, I know. But so far I'm really liking it. I like the way my skin looks. I'm liking the way all my products are sitting on top of it. So I'm gonna go about my day, and I probably won't check in for hours and hours because I'm going to my mother-in-law's for dinner. So I will see you in a bit. Okay, so it's 8:30 at night. I am checking in. I have not touched my makeup one time. I barely looked at myself in the mirror, so this is kind of my first look. I'm gonna tell you, it definitely controlled my oil for sure in the T-zone. It's not as oily as I normally would be. I think it did oxidize a little bit from when I put it on. It looked a little bit darker as I went throughout the day. It did look a little bit darker. Here's a close look. So my chin actually has held up pretty great, so I can't really complain about that. It has settled a little bit in my fine lines, my laugh lines, which is totally normal for me. I did have a little bit of oil right here on the tip of my nose, but it has not broken apart on the sides. It's held up really well, better than most foundations for me. And then on my forehead, I think it's starting to lift a little bit around the hairline, but it hasn't really settled majorly into my fine lines, but it's just kind of starting to wear just a bit around the hairline. And then where I had my breakout here, it's starting to kind of wear off. But I can honestly say that overall, I'm really enjoying this foundation. I think it's super nice. If you are combination to oily, I think it holds up extremely well, especially in my T-zone. I hardly had anything come off. I got a tiny bit oily on my nose, but other than that, everything held up pretty nicely. I definitely would highly recommend this. I do think that it oxidizes a tiny bit. It does settle a little bit into your fine lines, but nothing major. But I'm really enjoying this, and I think it's a great foundation. I think it'd be great if you have dry skin. I also think it'd be great if you had oily skin. So I think this is great for everybody. The L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Fresh Wear Foundation is getting 2 thumbs up for me. I do think it's a great foundation. Okay, so this will be the end of my review. I hope you guys found it helpful. If you did, as always, please don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe. And until next time, I will see you guys later. Thanks for watching.